Paul, you are the Donor and Community Relations Officer at Park Nicollet Foundation, and we as the board support your work as well. And the foundation is embarking on several campaigns and fundraising activities. Speaking of the mental health campaign that's going on right now to support the very programs that we just discussed earlier, and maybe to even expand further. What can you share with participants and listeners about this campaign and how they might be able to spread the word?
Sure. Well, thank you for this opportunity, because this is an opportunity to invest in our children. And as I said, I'm an old YMCA camp director. I would argue that when we invest in our children, we invest in our communities. And we want to raise money to not just continue these programs, but making an investment in them to help our community move forward and to enrich the lives of the people in our communities through supporting our kids. You've said it yourself on your webpage that when a child struggles, the whole family struggles. And I would argue that if you've got family struggling, then you have the community, which is in a place of struggle. So this is good for all of us. And to talk about our campaign, we're about halfway through a campaign to raise several $1 million to deepen and expand these programs within the community, allow any child who needs therapy, for example, to be able to have access to that. Like Kara said and Abby said, we have currently 10 to 12 spots, 10 to 12 hours of therapy per week that they're able to do. And is that reaching every kid who needs it and who doesn't have insurance, or who may be undocumented, or whose parents may not be able to get them to a clinic for therapy? Is it reaching every kid who is grieving from a loss of a parent or their sibling? So we're raising this money because that's what it takes to provide professional therapy. The therapists and the counselors in the schools working closely with the school staff to bring the right care at the right time to those students. And I'll come back to the word of investment, because if these kids are getting skills that help them with their resiliency, skills that help them get through their times of immense grief when it resurfaces, for example, when their father's not there when they graduate. When they build their own resiliency skills, it helps them throughout their entire life. So it's an investment that pays dividends for not just for that person, but for their families, their future families, and for the community. And it's not cheap. It's, for example, one student support group for Growing Through Grief over the course of the school year would cost about $10,000. We provide that. We raise money for that. And so that's the call. That's if folks support this, if they invest in this, we'll be able to do the best for our kids and for our communities.